Okay, so what is Giving Tuesday? And is it in any way connected with Thanksgiving? Well, sort of. I'll explain in a minute how this gets calculated in the Gregorian calendar. Now, after all of that history lesson that I'm about to do, I will give an appeal for donations to my work, so you can skip that part or you can skip this entire video if you like. I just would like to save your time. But before any of that, I'll get into some history here that I find fascinating and I think everyone will enjoy. So this will be my first video filmed in the bomb shelter. It's a little messy right now. It really needs to be completely reorganized and renovated, set up, but it does function as a bomb shelter. And thankfully, the latest apartment that I dwell in here in Samaria actually has a bomb shelter with solid steel door and thick reinforced walls. It's a regular bunker. There will be more videos from this bomb shelter in the future, and this will be the first, Yah willing. Yes, most of the world outside the USA and Canada don't celebrate Thanksgiving. So today, I hope to explain a bit better for everyone, as well as covering the meaning of Black Friday, how all of this connects to Succot from the Bible, and even connecting to Giving Tuesday. Sadly, I'm unable to travel to the USA to celebrate Thanksgiving with my extended family this year. The holiday is barely celebrated even among Americans over here in Israel, but thankfully I will head over to Kfar Saba in a little while to a Thanksgiving feast. Thanks be to Yah. But for now, in 2019, Giving Tuesday is on December 3rd. In 2020, it'll be December 1 because of the leap year. In 2021, it'll be November 30th, quite close to Hanukkah that year. And November 29 in the year 2022, November 28, 2023, because at that point, the fourth Thursday of November keeps getting a lower and lower number, and that's where Thanksgiving is in the USA. It's on the fourth Thursday of the month of November. So Thanksgiving affects all of these days. First comes Thanksgiving, the fourth Thursday of the month of November. The day after that is Black Friday. 2 days later is Cyber Monday, and finally, as an afterthought, some kind of attempt to get a piece of the pie 5 days after Thanksgiving every year is Giving Tuesday. How did these days get their names anyway? Black Friday, Cyber Monday, Giving Tuesday. Thanksgiving is, in the United States, is always celebrated on the fourth Thursday in November, and it's celebrated on the second Monday in October in Canada. Black Friday is the day after American Thanksgiving every year, and it got that name not because it's some sort of doomsday, it's not some sort of racial statement, it gets its name from the field of accounting. It's the day that Americans start their holiday shopping for Christmas, Hanukkah, etc. People have the day off, because it's a long weekend, after Thanksgiving, unless they work in retail or in the medical field. But most services and jobs are closed for the long weekend, so Americans go a little nuts with the day off, shopping for the best deals to try to get ahead of the gift shopping before December sets in, which normally comes in the Hebrew calendar, the month of Kislev, which is where Hanukkah is. So Black Friday is the day that retail store accounting books finally get out of the red and into the black for the year. Hence the name Black Friday. Retail stores finally get out of debt. Interestingly, Israeli retailers have adopted Black Friday, except they don't seem to know that it is literally the day after Thanksgiving. And how would they know? Thanksgiving is only celebrated in Canada and the USA, and even then in different months, October versus November. But retailers in Israel have apparently imitated the idea from their American retail counterparts and made it into a big sale in Israel that lasts several weeks, if not the whole month of November. Looking through today's Hebrew language newspaper, Israel Hayom, flipping through the news, and all of the advertisements are blending Hebrew text together with English text announcing Black Friday as a big sale for the last week of November. And I'll show on the screen some of these ads. Canada celebrates Thanksgiving in October, but the big influencer here is the USA, which, as we said, celebrates on the fourth Thursday of November, and the day after that is Black Friday, when the retailers finally have so much sales revenue that their accounting books finally get into the black. Eventually, online retailers, moving on here, online retailers eventually noticed an increase in sales also shortly after Black Friday. And so then we began to hear about Cyber Monday as a day when sales poured in online, through online sales. I suppose at that point, the nonprofit organization said, hey, since this is supposed to be a season of giving, Hanukkah, Christmas, Thanksgiving, and since brick and mortar retail has had their windfall, online retailers got theirs, why can't there also be a day to encourage giving to charities? So that's how we began to hear about Giving Tuesday, the Tuesday after Thanksgiving, after Black Friday, after Cyber Monday, then there's Giving Tuesday. And where did Thanksgiving get its beginning? In response to a joint request by both houses of Congress on October 3rd, 1789, President George Washington proclaimed November 26, 1789, as a day of public thanksgiving and prayer devoted to the service of that great and glorious being who is the beneficent author of all the good that was, that is, or that will be. End quotes. Now, other founding fathers and lawmakers, John Adams and James Madison, they issued similar Thanksgiving proclamations. By 1815, Thanksgiving Day was losing steam, in part thanks to Thomas Jefferson being opposed to the idea of a secular nation. In comes New Hampshire-born Sarah Josepha Hale, whose family often celebrated Thanksgiving, and she did a lot of work to revive it leading up to the presidency of Abraham Lincoln in 1860. Sarah Josepha Hale is the author of Mary Had a Little Lamb, also known as Mary's Lamb, in 1830. And in 1837, she received a job as the editor of Godey's Ladies' Book, a magazine for women, which she held for more than 40 years. Sarah Josepha Hale's 1827 novel, Northwood, A Tale of New England, included a whole chapter dedicated to Thanksgiving. 10 years later, working at Godey's, she regularly published editorials and articles about Thanksgiving and lobbied state and federal officials to pass legislation to create Thanksgiving as a national day of thanks on the last Thursday of November. Sarah Josepha Hale continued to press the issue as a way to ease growing tensions between the northern and southern parts of the country. By 1854, over 30 states and territories had a Thanksgiving celebration on their books. Over 30 states. She believed that such a unifying measure could help ease growing tensions and divisions between the northern and southern parts of the country. Her efforts paid off. By 1854, more than 30 states and U.S. territories had a Thanksgiving celebration on the books, but Hale's vision of a national holiday remained unfulfilled. During and after the American Civil War, 1861 to 1865, she thought it was a good way to promote healing and peace. November 29, 1860, Abraham Lincoln's family celebrated Thanksgiving just after being elected president. The celebration featured a roasted turkey, one of his favorite meals, followed by a church service focused on giving thanks for health, good fortune, and family. On October 3rd, 1863, 3 years later, in the 88th year of independence, President Abraham Lincoln issued his own Thanksgiving proclamation written by Secretary of State William Seward. In it, he invited the nation, in the midst of a civil war of unequaled magnitude and severity, to observe November 26, 1863, quote, as a day of thanksgiving and praise to our beneficent Father who dwelleth in the heavens, end quote, and to commend to his tender care all those who have become widows, orphans, mourners, or sufferers in the lamentable civil strife in which we are unavoidably engaged, and fervently implore the interposition of the Almighty hand to heal the wounds of the nation and to restore it as soon as may be consistent with the divine purposes to the full enjoyment of peace, harmony, tranquility, and union, end quote. The Continental Congress George Washington, Abraham Lincoln, and his Secretary of State William Seward all wrote of giving thanks and praise to Almighty God. Washington's proclamation began, Thanksgiving Proclamation by the President of the United States of America, a proclamation. Whereas it is the duty of all nations to acknowledge the providence of Almighty God, to obey His will, to be grateful for His benefits, and humbly to implore His protection and favor. And whereas both houses of Congress have, by their joint committee, requested me to recommend to the people of the United States a day of public thanksgiving and prayer to be observed by acknowledging with grateful hearts the many signal favors of Almighty God, especially by affording them an opportunity peaceably to establish a form of government for their safety and happiness. End quote. So the Abraham Lincoln, William Seward Proclamation uses the terms giving thanks to Almighty God, to the Most High God, and to our beneficent Father who dwelleth in the heavens. So I know that some people consider people like Washington, Lincoln, other founding fathers to be either honest Christians or perhaps only deists, and at the very worst, secret representatives of some secret religion. But hey, come on guys, the text of their letters says Almighty God, Most High God, etc. And I think we can all agree that there is no other God except for the Most High God. The Most High God is the Most High. That's the Creator that they're talking about. So that is a bit of the history and the rundown. So this November, as we head into December and every month of every year, I hope that everyone will give thanks to Elohim for all that He provides for us every day of the year in business, in our families, in health, and in wealth. I hope that besides all the gift giving for personal friends and family during the discount sales on Black Friday, Cyber Monday, that more and more people would remember charitable giving around the time of Giving Tuesday, 5 days after Thanksgiving. So please consider helping me to keep going via JTOD.org. If you're getting my email newsletters or my posts on WhatsApp and Signal, you already know what I do, including building praise and worship music teams and events. And please send a donation or arrange a monthly regular gift at Jerusalem Tabernacle of David, which is at JTOD.org. So, thanks for watching. Subscribe and hit the bell icon. Go to JTOD.org and send a donation. And also watch out for our new channel featuring more videos, Bible lessons, history lessons from this bomb shelter. Thanks and Yah bless. This is Teddy with Jerusalem Tabernacle of David.
Adonai haaretz kinoah, tever v'yaseva, ki hu al yamim yasada, ve'al naharot yechoneneha, mi ya'aleh be'ar Adonai, u'mi yakum bimkom kedusho, naki kapayim uvar lava, asher lo nasa l'shav nafsho, ולא נשבע לנרמה, יישא ברכה מאת אדוני, צדקה מאלוהי ישוע, זו דורשה, מבקשי פניך יעקב. סלה, סלה, סלה. Strong and mighty, strong and mighty.